Hi, Heather. It's Abby. I have an absolutely not for you. So I rent my car out on Turo, and usually when I get the car back, it's like a little dirty, there's miles on it, et cetera, et cetera. Recently, I had some young Italians rent my car out, and they returned it completely destroyed, sticky stuff all over the car, just like mangled. And they drove 7,000 miles over the course of like a week and a half. Where were they going? Not only that, the engine lights were on, the airbag lights were on, so I took it to a mechanic. The mechanic got back to me, said that they had an accident. They had run something over, so like parts of the radiator are missing, the airbags don't work anymore. Anyways, they tell Turo that they just braked really hard and then all the lights turned on. Not believing it. Anyways, I'm going back and forth with like the legal department at Turo. It is not fun. I just want to fix my car, but absolutely not.
So I want to preface this. That is Abby. I know Abby, and I know this story, but I wanted her to call in to give the gist of it because this has been so insane. So Abby on the social media team, Abby, we love and adore her. Shout out to Abby. So Abby, we're backstage at the Denver show. And she comes in and she seems a little frazzled. And I said, Abby, what's going on? She's like, dude, you're never going to believe what happened to me this afternoon. So we start putting the clues together at the Denver show. She shows us the tour app. She's like, I rent my car out sometimes. These guys rented it. And she said, and it was something around 16 days. They drove 7,000 miles. So I'm immediately like, where did these people go in the continental United States? I don't understand. So I hear 7,000 miles. She shows me a photo of the speedometer, and I'm like, okay, this is not making sense. So we're sitting, she's just gotten her car back. It's filthy. It's sticky. Things are jingle-jangling around. She's like, it's like a couple young Italian dudes. So I imagine 4 slender Sicilian men with fedoras and a pair of nice jean capri and a Puma flat and a crossbody man purse just going, I don't know, to a rave, to Pound Town. I don't know what they were doing in Sweet Abby's car. So right now it says if you were to go from San Diego to New York City in miles, it's 2,700. It would take you 41 hours to drive 2,700 miles. Where did these Italians go? If they picked up the car in Denver, if they went Denver all the way up to the top of the Yukon Territory, then across over to Maine, down to Fort Lauderdale, and back across, you still wouldn't be hitting 7,000 miles. And also in 15 days. Now, I've seen a lot on the internet where Europeans who have never been to America before are often quite confused. They don't understand because obviously Europe is small and all the countries are very close and small together. They don't understand why they can't see all of America in like a week. And they'll say like, oh, I've never been to America before. I think I want to go to I've got 6 days off from work. I want to go to Miami, New York, Vegas, Chicago, and LA. You're like, you can't do that in 7 days. What are you talking about? I mean, I do it every week on tour, but I don't see anything. I see the inside of a Hyatt, and that's about it. So we're over here calculating. We are calculating where could these guys have gone? One, what were they doing? Now, so Abby talks to me earlier today, and she's like, dude, it's gotten worse, as she said in her voicemail. I said, you got to call in with this because we got to dissect this, and I want to hear what the Absolutely Not listeners think about this. That just a ton of damage. So she went to go get it detailed because it had sticky substances. Don't ask about that. That one we don't need to know about. I don't want to know. You don't need to know. Let's move on from the stickiness. We can wipe that down, Clorox, bleach it. But now the bottom of her car, there's like her engine was rattled. They went over something at such a high speed that the engine, something else, like the bumper, all of it is messed up. I don't want to go there. I don't want to pinpoint my own people, but I think these Italians were up to no good. I don't know if they rented her lovely car and were drag racing across America. I mean, the only way you could drive 7,000 miles in like 15 days is if you are going 120 miles an hour. And then, I mean, could you imagine trying to sightsee in 2 weeks, literally traipsing into the entirety of North America? I mean, you're whizzing past the Grand Canyon. You're barely throwing a grape at the Statue of Liberty. You were going down South Beach just hitting pedestrians going that fast. I mean, honestly, we should probably ask these guys to drive us from San Antonio to Midland. We probably get there in 2 hours. We still have no idea where they went. And so Abby sends him a message on Turo and is like, hey, where did y'all go to put 7,000 miles on my car? And he just said a very long street is what his response was at one point. I mean, just for a point of reference, when I leased my car, I could put 10,000 miles on it over 2 years. That's 5,000 miles, I think, a year. 5,000 miles a year. They went to crush the globe and back in 2 weeks. I do think you got bamboozled. And Abby, if we have anybody who works for Turo, I need you to chime in. Because Turo is not, they're saying that they can't guarantee that what happened to her car actually happened and all this shit. And it's like, look at the mileage that these people put on. Honey, I'm worried that there's a trail of dead bodies somewhere. I'm worried that they were hitting pedestrians driving and like it just never made the national news. I said, you got to wait. I said, you're going to get about 15 speeding tickets and unpaid tolls from these Italians in your mailbox. Give it 3 weeks and you're going to be just getting hit, bam, 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 with charges. And I pray to God that these toll booths and these other cameras that Big Brother got just 4 Italian dudes hanging outside of her car, smoking cigs, chugging espressos, all wearing matching fedoras with like Mickey Mouse ears on top of it because you know their asses went to Disney. You know they're like, oh, we must say here to Orlando. We have a 15 minutes. We must go see a Mickey. I mean, insane. Insane. Now, mind you, yeah, your car is really damaged, Abby, and we will work to help with the repairs. But, you know, honestly, my car is like that every weekend when I drive it. So better the Italians than me. All right, I'll sideswipe your garage like that. But that's insane. If y'all have any ideas of where they may have gone, if you have any theories, I'd really like to get into it.